I think a lot of founders seek out Holacracy because they're overwhelmed with the complexity of their world. They're overloaded, they need help, they want help. They don't want a team full of employees following their orders. They want a team full of leaders stepping up and taking their piece of this organization and running forward with it with more autonomy and more self-direction.
We were basically searching for an answer for a problem we were having. We were starting to notice that, decision-making was grinding to a halt and people were trying to involve us in everything, and we had to basically make the decisions, and we were becoming a bit fed up with that.
I often felt that the toughest problems always fell to me, even though there were people that were equally or even more competent than myself.
And I felt it was sort of cracking at the seams. It was like, we have to get more clarity, especially on strategy, aligning people.
Frankly, I was not interested in keeping on having an organization if I couldn't find some way out of the pressure I was under and all those multiple things that I felt accountable and responsible for that nobody else was.
I think what happened to me when I was working in a conventional management hierarchy is that I was often looking for approval or seeking approval from my boss. I wasn't using my full capacity.
I think that a lot of people are stopped, and myself, I was stopped with processing things in a more traditional way of organizing because there are no, paths to use.
With Holacracy, most decisions are made locally by those doing the work, and that means we don't need to run decisions up a management hierarchy. People know what decisions they can make and where the limits are. And that means we don't get the gridlock that we're used to in management.
Now people are very confident in taking decisions because they can say, I want to do this, and this is our current strategy, and that totally makes sense.
There's also a shift in the employees, which is the idea that the work is there, we're all here for the same purpose, and you can go out and grab the work that exists for the team. You don't have to wait to be told to do it.
What I can see is that what Holacracy did for some of our people is it really liberated them and enabled them to step up.
And I've always felt very free and even encouraged by my colleagues and by the structure that is in place to see if there's a new solution or see if there's something that we can try safely to see how that works.
One of the things Holacracy does is liberate people to express their full capacity and potential in the organization. And I think ultimately a lot of people really want to have an impact.
So we saw an awful lot of people grow really personally, simply by having those opportunities to be considered as a peer.
I think that it opens you up a lot to be part of something bigger. You really feel you can influence things.
Those individuals that are those rock stars, they're much more empowered and enabled to remove their own impediments. So they're able to move faster.
When the organization is full of people that are taking autonomy for their roles and leading them, you end up with a lot less burden on the top. Now you've got people solving things locally throughout the organization. Right? The burden is less, the overwhelm is less.
No, you don't need Holacracy to delegate, but Holacracy does actually help you. It was, for me, okay to say, this is not my role. And that was relieving.
And what I love about Holacracy is that ownership is no longer concentrated in the hands of a few, it's now distributed into all of the teams, all of the circles. So you feel real ownership over whatever roles you drive. And you work together with the rest of your team, with your circle, to achieve a common purpose.
Holacracy gives us a way to ground everything back to purpose. It makes sure we take one overall purpose of this enterprise and we break it down, and every team knows their purpose, and every role in that team knows its purpose. And when anything's getting in the way of that purpose, we change something to unleash the purpose.
We had always talked about being purpose-driven, and we were, but to have a format where we could really start to embed that in the organization, not just embed it, but then operationalize that in very real time and very real terms with very real people.
We are very well managed, very well structured, I think. There's a lot of clarity. People know what's expected of them. People know where we want to go. People know where the team or the circle wants to go. And all of that without managers. And that really feels good.
That's what I really love about Holacracy. It's these organizations where everyone can become powerful, everyone can become creative and entrepreneurial in service of some larger purpose.
So how amazing would it be to have an organization which has a very powerful sense of purpose, arrive there and actually be empowered to fulfill that purpose that you came to fulfill.